again. I've had a little break and I'm okay to continue reading again from Dr. Vernon Coleman's book. It's really, really tough, isn't it? To keep praying and taking action. I think we should contact our useless MPs. Waste of space really, but you have to, or they'll keep doing what they're doing. This, I'm not sure what the subject is. I'm going to have to look for the page that where I just stopped. Yes, it was dentistry, wasn't it? Because I think that might be a longer subject than I was expecting. So, he suggested that you send a copy of the video to your MP and ask him or her if he or she knows what's going on in the NHS these days. Well, I would do that if I was you. I'd find some of Dr. Vernon's own ones, if you can, and send that, because they're all online now, the MPs. The end of dentistry, is it? My dentist died. He was wonderful. He was really good in Manchester. I liked him. He died young. The end of dentistry. Dr. Vernon Coleman, MB, CHB, DSc, FRSA. I doubt if anyone really looks forward to going to the dentist. Most of us find it slightly unnerving experience at the best of times. But when dentists open their doors after many weeks of shutdown, the experience will be considerably more unnerving than it ever was before. The government and the dental governing bodies in the UK have together created a nightmare scenario which will scare the living daylights out of even the most robust of patients and put most dentists out of business well before Christmas. Dentists will have to spend a fortune obeying the new laws, and they will be forced to see around a third. How are they going to survive? A third of the patients they saw before. More expenditure and less income doesn't sound like much of a business plan to me, especially when dentists have been shut for months. They must be going bankrupt by now, from April till September. I mean, they've still got their loans to repay, their mortgages to pay, their children's private schools and all their private whatever they have that they can afford to normally pay for. They have a higher standard of life than most of the people. Well, they work for it. It's not an easy job. Goodness me. More expenditure and less. I've read that. There will not, I suspect, be any time for preserving teeth or for the dental and gum care we have so long been warned is essential. Long-term dental care in Britain is about to hit a bad few decades. No one will take up that profession when they see the problems they're experiencing now. If the international travel ever becomes possible again, everyone will be able to spot the Brits by their rotten teeth. Most of us don't spend much time feeling sorry for dentists, but it is time to start. I certainly do. And their patients who have got toothache. My husband nearly died of toothache in Jamaica. He was very, very ill and was helicoptered from St. Anne's Bay in like a terrible, almost hurricane weather. I'm glad I didn't have to go up in it, to the ICU unit in Montego Bay, but they saved his life, and that was toothache. You can die from toothache, trust me. Here's the plan. These are rules that dentists have been told they must follow. If they plan to reopen their practices on the 15th of June, and if the barking mad quartet from that wonderful movie, The Dream Team, had sat down with the Marx Brothers, they could not possibly have dreamt up a dafter, more absurdly chaotic scheme than the one which dentists say will be their new normal. I hate that phrase, new normal. It may be new, but there is nothing normal about it. Nothing at the moment is normal, and it never will be. Not with this lot in charge. Load of clowns. Apparently, dentists are going to have to follow official government advice from the chief dental officer. He must be a twat to accept the job. I honestly didn't know we had one, but I'm told there are individual chief dental officers for all the UK's regions. What a waste of money. Let's get on with the job of fixing teeth. And I have no doubt that they're all well equipped with deputies, assistants, and the usual platoons of administrative staff. The formal advice has not been issued yet, or hadn't when I recorded this video that he made, though there is only 1 week to go before opening day. You could go to his website and get this video. But the guidance available, predictably entitled Standard Operating Procedures for Return to Dental Practice, will give dentists enough information on policies. Policies are the end, aren't they? We never had policies years ago. Just get on with the job. And procedures for them to start planning. So here is what I'm assured will be the new normal as far as dentistry is concerned. Could the administrators who have thought up all this crap be unaware that dentists have for years been accustomed to using procedures which protect them and other patients from infectious diseases such as AIDS and hepatitis? Of course not. But then this is the new flu. A virus is not flu though, is it? You know that. Back in May, I reported that I had heard a rumour that the government was going to force dentists to see no more than 1 patient an hour. And now it appears that the rumour was true. Dentists working in the NHS have to see a huge number of patients to make a living. And I honestly cannot see any NH dentists managing to survive these rules and regulations. I suspect that getting rid of NHS dentistry was part of the deliberate planned reset of our society. I agree, because last year I went to look for a dentist in King's Lynn because I didn't have one, and I had a slight issue, and I went to this dental practice, went in and politely waited, and the young lady said to me, I'll never forget it as long life lives, she said, "Oh, I'm ever so sorry," she said, "but we don't have any dentists. They all resigned today." All resigned. So I believe they were going to go private. They'd had enough then by the NHS. That was last year. So that was a forewarning, wasn't it? And unless they quadruple their fees, I can't see many private dentists surviving either, so that lot who went private will be out of business as well. Those who obey all the new rules simply won't be able to see enough patients to earn a living. Those who don't obey the laws will doubtless be defrocked or desmocked or whatever they do to naughty dentists these days. To start with, of course, Dentists will give priority treatment to patients who have had untreated dental emergencies during the last 3 months. Unfortunately, dentists have been told that they cannot use procedures which generate aerosols, so they can't use the drill. That's the thing we hate the most, but that's the thing you need the most. Are they nutcases in government or what? This means they can't do fillings or use ultrasonic scalers to clean teeth. One assumes, therefore, that teeth with enough decay to be painful will have to be removed. The tooth fairy is going to have a busy future, and the denture making industry is set to boom. Patients who are in a high risk groups are advised to delay routine dental treatment for as long as possible. They're just crazy. I'm not sure what the high risk groups are today, but they have at various times included transplant patients, anyone over the age of 70, that's me, anyone living with someone over the age of 70, male black diabetics who are bald and overweight should be top of the at-risk groups, but no one likes to say that in case it sounds racist, fattish, or somist. So there's the protocol, as they love to say these days. First you ring and make an appointment. This won't be easy, and you'll see why in a few minutes. 3 days before your appointment date, the dentist will email you, or if you haven't got one, a medical history questionnaire, a COVID-19 screening questionnaire, and a consent form which you have to fill out and return via email, or if you haven't got a printer, so that all your private information goes online and is readily available for hackers to steal. If you don't have access to email, you're stuffed again. But no one ever said life was fair. No one seems to understand that several million people in Britain don't have a computer, a mobile phone, or any idea what an email is. That's what a lot of my neighbours don't. Pigeon keeping and pigeon racing is, however, one of the most popular sports and pastimes in Britain. So it did occur to me that maybe dentists could be persuaded to allow patients without computers to use pigeon post. It would make as much sense as anything else. But then I realised that no one is allowed bits of paper anymore, so the pigeons are out. Dentists may also carry out a video consultation, with Zoom or Skype, prior to their appointment. If the dentist doesn't receive all the completed forms on time, then they will almost certainly cancel, so they're losing money too. Cancel the appointment and you will have to go to the back of the queue. There you go. The day before your appointment, you will be contacted again, what a waste of time, to discuss the forms you have completed. If you or anyone in your household has any of the 3,937 symptoms so far thought to be associated with the the flu, or the COVID-19, or the coronavirus, you will be asked to postpone your appointment. But if you have a real emergency and you can convince someone that you will kill yourself if you aren't treated, you will be referred to an urgent dental care hub, which will probably be 600 miles away and shut. But hey ho, no one ever said life was fair, and this is after the new normal in the toothless land of Comrade Boris. You'll be asked to pay in advance for your treatment, because you won't be able to pay with cash, because cash is dirty and kills people, and the banks don't like it. If you don't have a suitable means of paying over the internet, like PayPal or by telephone, then it's hard luck, and you'll have to resort to the old piece of string and a door handle solution. Things now start to get exciting. Before you leave home for your appointment, you're advised by the government to ensure you have cleaned your teeth, drunk plenty of fluids, and been to the loo. This assumes, of course, that everyone lives next door to the dentist. Anyone unfortunate to have to travel for an hour to reach their dentist will probably find it impossible to be fully hydrated and not need to use the loo on arrival. Well, counts me out. As you set off on this adventure, you should take only essential items with you, and you should attend your appointment on your own unless you can't stand without support. You should make sure that you wear extra layers of clothing. Because the surgery will be colder than usual, as air conditioning is used to replace the air in the room at regular intervals, so the poor dentist must be frozen. The dentist and his nurse, who have to spend all day in cold air, will presumably wear thick sweaters and overcoats under their protecting clothing, but will nevertheless be forever falling ill with colds and having to take 2 weeks off work. It is, of course, well known that air conditioning causes breathing problems, dry skin, and constant tiredness. It also tends to exacerbate all existing illnesses, so you're going to get ill and they're going to get ill and there'll be no more dentists. The dentist's front door will be locked, and when you arrive you will have to telephone, and what if you haven't got one, and let the receptionist know that you have arrived. If you don't have a mobile phone or your battery is dead, then you're buggered. For who said life was fair? You could, I suppose, just shout loudly, "I'm here," and hope someone hears you. But no, that won't work, because when the dentist is ready for you, as you wait outside in your car, that's if you've got one, what about us who go on bus? They will telephone you to say that there are no other patients in the reception area and you can safely enter. If you're travelling by public transport, then you have to let the dentist know in advance, so that special arrangements can be made for you to wait inside the building safely. As I recall, my dentist in Manchester, you were straight in the door downstairs and straight up the stairs. There weren't any place to be. You could only go in through the door and straight up the stairs to the waiting area. So what do those kind of dentists do? I am not, I promise you, making this up. Once you have been telephoned to confirm that Elvis has left and that you can safely enter the building, a receptionist or a nurse will unlock the door and let you in. She or he will be wearing personal protective equipment, including a mask and a visa. Don't jump out of the car and expect to be let in soon, however, because there will have to be a delay after the departure of one patient and the arrival of another, because the staff will have to disinfect all common areas, including door handles and all surfaces. Once you get into the now sterile surgery premises, floor markings will enable you to make sure you obey social distancing requirements. You will be asked to put all your belongings, including your coat and any bag you're carrying, into a large box in the reception area, and you will be asked to sanitize your hands if you aren't already wearing one. You'll be offered a mask to wear, but you're going to get your ready teeth done. You will then be taken into the surgery, which will have been thoroughly disinfected and cleaned after the last patient. You are, I suspect, beginning to see why dentists aren't going to be able to see quite as many patients as before, and why. If this fast continues much beyond the summer, most of them will be planning to emigrate or looking for some other form of employment. In the surgery, the dentist and the dental nurse will both be smothered in protective equipment. There will be no shaking of hands. You'll be asked to keep your mask in place until the dentist is ready to start sticking his gloved fingers into your mouth. Whatever next. As soon as the treatment is completed, you must sanitize your hands again and replace your mask. There won't be any jolly little chats afterwards. If you need to discuss anything, the dentist will telephone you later when you're safely separated by some distance, but he's already been in your mouth. Oh Lord. All things considered, I wonder how many will bother going to the dentist in the future. Well, if it's a matter of your life, you will go. And I wonder how many will choose to resort to the old trick of trying one end of piece of string to the painful tooth and the other end to the door handle. Slamming the door half a dozen times to yank out the tooth will seem to be a darn sight easier than this crazy charade. Finally, as we trudge reluctantly into the government's carefully designed new normal, where the entire nation becomes slowly edentulous, we can perhaps take some small comfort from the knowledge that when we have lost all our teeth, we will be able to hide our empty mouths behind a mask. Perhaps that, after all, is what mask wearing is all about. This is just as funny as stuffing. Vernon, you really are a delightful, humorous, thoughtful man. sorry guys that I laugh, but he's so good at writing. He's got that trigger that makes you laugh. You can't help it. I mean, I can be serious for so long, and then he just gets you, doesn't he? He just gets you with his words. He's so clever. I bet he was a brilliant doctor to visit when you were sick or ill or what have you, because he's got a marvellous sense of humour and sense of timing, and oh, he's absolutely brilliant. Oh, bring back Coleman to YouTube. Come back, find another platform better than YouTube if there is one. God bless you all and good night, and thank you for listening. Next time it's going to be about why there will be a second wave. They need one. Well, we don't, do we? I certainly don't. Gosh, I still want to see my auntie. This is terrible. I'm going to write to the MP and complain and moan and ask him to ask that Boris fella why I can't see my auntie. That would be my next nagging thing. Good luck with your teeth, people.